America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides. We got a great show for you tonight, everyone. Remember to smash the like and follow button. I know we have had a scarce amount of shows recently. I'm in the process of moving currently. So over the next 2 weeks, there won't be as many shows as usual. Normally, I'll try and do them every single day, Monday through Friday. There will be more like 2 to 3 a week. I'm going to try and go live every single day on Rumble, on Kick, Twitch, maybe on YouTube as well. I don't love YouTube live streaming as much as I like the other platforms, but I'm still going to try and do what I can to stay informed on everything that's happening politically, keep you guys informed as well, keep the conversation moving forward. We have a lot of great topics to talk about. Like I said, we're going to talk about Trump's federal DC takeover. We'll talk about the implications of it for future cities, for Washington, D.C., what it means for you and me. We'll talk about the Baltimore mayor's response to this as well. The Baltimore mayor is now saying he wants to ban AR-15s in response to this. What a dumbass. We'll talk about how stupid that idea is. We'll talk about how that wouldn't help the city of Baltimore either way. We'll talk about the potential of weed being reclassified in the United States from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Normally, if you asked me almost any other year of my life, I would have said, please, let's do it. It's about time. But I really do not think that the positive effects of weed outweigh a lot of the negatives, at least the social effects of it, that we need to talk about and that the media doesn't talk about. We'll talk about the media and Elon Musk accusing Nick Fuentes of being a Fed, Nick Fuentes' stream with Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines that's happening today, the Candace Owens freak out. She's pretty much begging for it. She's done everything except take her clothes off at this point. She's just begging for it. She's done everything she can to try and get alone in a room with Nick. It's almost embarrassing at this point, Candace. Relax, honey. And then we'll finish the day off talking about the Peter Thiel connection to all of it. The CIA asset, Peter Thiel, the man behind the entire operation right now. Like I said, we have a great show, a lot of good topics to talk about, a lot of things. Please remember to smash the like and follow button. Leave a comment if you have any questions, but I'm going to get right into the show today. First, I want to talk about Trump's federal DC takeover. I've been shitting on Trump a lot. I have been giving him an absurd amount of shit for the Epstein thing, for bombing Iran, for Israel, for shilling to Netanyahu at any possible moment. I've been giving him shit for a lot of things recently, stopping reporting the deportation numbers. It hasn't been the best 2 months or so, few months from the Trump administration. I was heavily promoting it in the first few months. After I saw what happened with Israel and Iran, it was almost a complete flip for me because he ran on no new wars. He ran on making it better for our generation. He raised the debt ceiling. He bombed Iran. He's not getting the immigrants out. He's not really doing exactly what we voted for. But this is something I do agree with, especially after, I think on my show last week, I showed the incident of the government contractor. He goes by the name Big Balls, the guy that he made his name that on LinkedIn. He worked for the Department of Government Efficiency. He was trying to stop a woman who was getting mugged or harassed or whatever it was. He tried to stop it, get in the middle of it, and then a group of black men beat the ever-living shit out of him. We showed the picture of the aftermath of what he looked like, him beaten to shit, blood everywhere. They ripped his clothes. It was disgusting. There is a huge problem of crime in Baltimore, in D.C., in these areas like that. We do need to fix them. I'm not 100% sure that a federal takeover is necessary, but if the state and local governments are going to refuse to do their jobs, then it is up to the federal government to do it. So I do think Trump did make the right decision here. I hope it doesn't lead to anything worse, but I do seeing the streets get cleaned up. I do seeing that we had over 70 people arrested just yesterday. They're doing what they can to remove the homeless people off the streets too. They're offering them either mental health help or they're offering them a place in a homeless shelter, and if they refuse that, they will end up in jail because that is the law and that is how the law should go. I think this is actually a really smart thing by the Trump administration. A lot of people are going to shit on it, especially the left. But the left is dumb. The left doesn't know what they're talking about. It's important to limit crime. It's important to uphold the law. And when the left and left-leaning mayors and left-leaning governors do not uphold the law, the federal government has to take over. And this is also a message to Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. This is a message to, I forget the dumbass mayor in Chicago, but that guy too. If you don't get your cities under control, Trump will. If you don't get your cities under control, the National Guard will come in and they will clean up the homeless off the streets. They will stop the drug sales on the streets. They will stop people getting rifles and guns put in their face on the sidewalk just for walking around with a decent watch on. I don't want people to live in fear in our greatest cities. They're not our greatest cities anymore if you're living in fear in them. We need to restore just peace in these cities. We need to restore American values. We need to do what we can to get rid of all the illegal immigrants in these cities, limit legal immigration into the United States because a lot of the legal immigrants don't assimilate into American culture. We need to limit the crime. We need to especially limit the crime in the black community. We speak about black crime a lot on this show. And just yesterday, they came out with their 2024 crime numbers, and 56% of all homicide victims were black. 54% of all the murders for these homicides were black as well. They're 13% of the population. Are you kidding me? Guys, get this under control. You have 25% of your households have a dad in them. You're the overwhelming majority of crime. You're the overwhelming majority of thefts as well. Your youth is 67% of all the theft arrests. If you guys don't get these under control, your kids are going to become the statistics. You will keep saying that white people are racist when we call it out, and we're not racist. We're just tired of the bullshit. We're tired of bad behavior. We're tired of crime. We're tired of having to fear for our lives in certain cities, fear for our belongings in our car in certain cities. We're tired of having to hold our kids extra tight next to us when we're walking because we don't want these creeps near them. We don't want people who are going to harass them near them. We don't want people blowing weed smoke in their face. We need to do what we can to limit crime. We need to do what we can to allow these states and cities to try and handle it themselves. And when they don't, the federal government is going to come and handle it for you, as we see in D.C. And like I said, D.C. is very close to the Baltimore area. The Baltimore mayor comes out against Donald Trump saying, that's not the way to stop crime. Bringing the National Guard in and arresting criminals is the wrong way to stop crime. The correct way to stop crime is to ban AR-15s. I would like the mayor of Baltimore, this is a legitimate challenge for you, sir, go door to door in some of these neighborhoods in Baltimore and try and figure out how many people legally own an AR-15. I'm guessing almost none of them. I'm guessing most of the guns in Baltimore, especially in these inner cities, in the hood, in these terrible communities, are legal. They're not registered at all. And not that they need to be. None of my guns are registered. They don't need to be here. But they're probably not legally purchased. They probably have serial numbers scratched off. They're probably hot guns. They're probably guns that have either been used before or are going to be used in a murder. I promise banning legal sales of AR-15s to legal law-abiding citizens is not going to stop the shitty black thugs in your neighborhoods from committing crimes. All it's going to do is empower them to commit more crimes because there will be less armed law-abiding citizens with firearms. When I walk into a store and I have my firearm, nobody is in danger besides anybody who wants to rob that store. And then that person is immediately putting their life on the line because I will take it. But if you are just in the store walking, going about your day, you'll never even know that I have my firearm on me. My firearm will only come out with a threat in front of me that I am going to take out. That is what a gun safety class will teach you. Law-abiding citizens follow these rules because they are law-abiding citizens. When they don't follow those rules, they wouldn't be law-abiding citizens anymore. For any of the libtards who do not understand this concept, this very simple concept, if you take away guns from law-abiding citizens, the people who do not follow the laws are not just going to give their guns up. They're not just going to be like, oh yeah, like my neighbor's giving his guns up, but I have my serial number scratched off, so maybe I'll just give mine up too, just to be nice. No, that's not going to happen. What those people are going to do is they're going to go rob the people who just lost their guns, because they still have them. We can't have this crime in our inner cities. We can't have the mayor of one of these big cities being such a dumbass. The mayor of Baltimore is always going to be stupid. Hopefully not always, but in the past, it's pretty much always been stupid. Baltimore is a failing society. The crime is through the roof. You can't go into the city of Baltimore without having to lock your doors, without having to literally roll through stop signs. I don't think people understand that. You have to roll through stop signs. You can't even fully stop at a stop sign in Baltimore, or else your car will get surrounded. And if you have your windows down, you'll have a gun in your fucking face. This is what happens in the inner cities of our greatest cities in this country. I honestly support more federal takeovers. I don't think they should last a long time. I don't support the federal government taking over the United States. I don't support them taking over cities for prolonged periods. But if they are going to remove the homeless people off the streets, limit crime, stop a lot of murders, arrest a lot of people who would potentially be criminals, I have no problem with that. I'm very for that. I want to limit their ability on who they can arrest. Like I said, I don't want them to just be able to arrest anybody. But people who are committing crimes, fuck yes. Get them off my streets. I don't want them. I don't want to look at them. I don't want to deal with them. They don't deserve the same air as me. I have no problem saying that. People who murder and rape, people who have no idea how society actually operates, who have no moral standards, they do not deserve the same air as us. It's not a crazy concept to breathe. They also think the weed reclassification will change a lot. They think that reclassifying marijuana will limit a lot of crime. I really don't think it's going to... You can make the argument that it will limit arrests surrounding marijuana, but I don't think it will limit crime. I don't think people are getting high and going out and committing a ton of crimes. People are selling weed. People are doing things like that, which are crimes. But it's not going to limit violent crime. It's not going to do things like that. What it will do, though, is... it will be a huge hit to the youth. Like I talked about earlier, any other year in my life, I would have been behind this. I would have been writing to the governor's office. How can I support this bill? How can I work for it? I worked in the hemp industry for a very long time, and it's something that's close to me. I do think it's something that can help people. I think it's something that specifically helps older people, but I do think it's something that's very negative to younger people, and this is coming from someone who used to be addicted to marijuana. Marijuana is an extremely addictive thing, especially to the young male mind. It changes everything about the way your brain works. They tell you it's not addictive, but it is very addictive. It is one of the reasons I am against the legalization of it. I do not think we should be pushing things that are very addictive into the market. I know people are going to get it anyway. I think the medical programs are great. I think they are slightly abused. There's not a ton you could do about that, but it is important that people are able to legally access it, but that it's not accessible to children in any way. Children are going to try and get high, but we need to limit that as much as possible. And people love the alcohol versus weed debate, and it's a good debate. And I, for the most part, in history, have almost always been on the weed side. But I think alcohol, while it's not healthier for you, is probably better for society. Weed tends to make you a little bit more of a loner. Yes, people do smoke in circles, but generally stoners smoke alone. People smoke alone. People spend a lot more time alone because of it. They're less inclined to go out and do things because of it. They have less motivation, less energy, whatever it is. It seems extremely exciting to sit on your couch and watch a movie every single night if you're smoking weed. Alcohol, on the other hand, gets you out and about, and I'm not saying people should be drinking more alcohol, abusing more alcohol. Alcohol is very negative to your health, especially if you're drinking it every day, but at least it makes you a little bit more social. You can make more friends drinking alcohol. You're able to have a lot more business connections drinking alcohol than smoking weed. But most CEOs, professionals, billionaires, millionaires, politicians, they all drink a little bit. Not all of them smoke. It's a networking thing. It is a conversation starter. It's something that loosens your inhibitions. And like I said, it's not something that's healthy for you. Either is weed. Neither are necessarily healthy for you. They both can have slight positive health benefits, while a lot of negative health benefits. But I do think overall for society, alcohol is better for society. It's not healthier. It's not going to cause less destruction. Alcohol is going to make you more reckless. There's more drunk driving. There is more fights in alcohol. Some people tend to get emotional when they drink. They can get aggressive. They can get sad, whatever it is. It doesn't happen as much on weed. But when you take in all the factors for society, I think alcohol is a better thing for society than weed. I don't think weed is necessarily the worst thing in the world or a terrible thing. Like I said, it's very helpful to old people. It's very helpful to people for sleep. It's very helpful for people with pain when it comes to topicals. It can be an extremely useful tool, extremely useful medicine, but it is a very abused drug, especially by minors, especially by younger people, high schoolers, college kids, young males specifically. It will alter your hormones, your brain chemistry. It will alter the way you think. It will alter your speech patterns. It will alter everything about your life. And when you get off it, it's a very hard process, similar to the process of getting off nicotine, which they don't talk about, but it is a very hard process to get over the weed addiction. So I really think to all my younger viewers, please, again, I know it's tempting. This is coming from someone who used to smoke weed almost every single day. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth what it does to your brain. It's not worth what it's going to do to your life. It's not worth the temporary fun you think you're going to have. I promise you'll get a lot more fun from just being yourself, maybe having a cocktail or nothing. Like, there are a lot of people who go, again, I don't agree with Donald Trump on everything, but Donald Trump doesn't drink, and he's a great person because of it. I think it makes him a better person that he doesn't drink. Joe Gatto, the guy from Impractical Jokers, he was hilarious. He didn't drink, and he was the loudest, funniest one on the show. Never had a drop of alcohol in his life. It's not necessary to drink or smoke or to be fucked up to have these fun times. You could just have these fun times by having them. It's not me saying avoid it completely, be a teenager, etc., but don't get addicted to these things. Don't have prolonged use of them. I understand experimenting, but do what you can to be a good Christian, be a good Catholic, stay away from drugs, especially when you're younger. I understand older people, like I said, who want to get to it, but we don't have to rehash all that. I think it's just important that if they are going to reclassify it, they heavily re-educate people on it. They relabel things about it. The packaging is terrible. There's cartoons on packaging. And they need to do what they can. Keep it away from kids. Keep it in the hands of older adults. I do want to go on to some of our featured topics of the night. I wanted to zip through the beginning ones because they're not as big or important as some of the almost more social stuff. There's not a lot of policy things happening in the United States outside the DC takeover because right now the House is shut down for 6 weeks. They shut it down so they didn't have to vote on the Epstein thing. Very corrupt. We're not going to stop talking about Epstein as well. We'll talk about that with the Peter Thiel connection at the end. Very important to keep talking about Epstein, even though the media is saying that we all forgot. And to be honest, a lot of you have. And actually, I'm not pissed at you guys, but come on. You guys, you can do better than this. Don't let the media get the best of you. Do not forget about the Epstein scandal. Do not forget about the fact that Trump buried it. Do not forget about the fact that J.D. Vance is connected to Peter Thiel, and Peter Thiel was connected to Epstein, and Howard Lutnick is connected to Donald Trump, and Lutnick was connected to Epstein. There's a lot of these crazy connections, and Ghislaine might even testify. But right now, searches are down over 89% on Google for Trump and Epstein since the last 3 weeks ago. CNN reported this. Come on, guys, we need to do better. I want those up. I want it to be up 89% 3 weeks later. I want it to be up 890%. Fuck this shit that is down. It's just not okay. It is the opposite way we should be going right now, guys. We need to be pushing for transparency, not pushing for corruption. But we're going to talk about Elon Musk accusing Nick Fuentes of being a Fed. We're going to talk about the Nick Tate Myron stream. That's actually going to happen in 50 minutes. That's why I'm filming this now, because I'm going to be going live during that. I will be live streaming that. Live reaction. It'll be fun. So tune into that, guys, if you're seeing this later. We'll also talk about Candace freaking out at Nick. This is pretty much going to be a Nick Fuentes segment on everything from the Fed accusations all the way. We'll bring it to Peter Thiel, and then we'll tie all that together with the ending segment of Peter Thiel. But Elon Musk went and accused Nick Fuentes of being a Fed. This comes very shortly after Nick Fuentes is targeted by Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. 3 mainstream media people. You could argue that Candace isn't as mainstream as she used to be, even though she has 5 million YouTube followers. And same thing with Tucker. He's not working for Murdoch and Fox News, but still he's almost bigger than ever. They are all coming to attack him almost simultaneously. There is overwhelming evidence to show that Nick Fuentes is not a federal agent, never worked with federal agents, even testified under oath, under penalty of perjury, that he had never spoken to a federal agent in his life that he had ever known of. But Elon Musk takes it upon himself to accuse Nick Fuentes of being a Fed on social media. He posts a video of Nick Fuentes at the Capitol, where Nick Fuentes was not even on the Capitol grounds, but he was on I think it's called the Ellipse, which is about 500 to 600 feet away from the Capitol. He was there with a bullhorn speaking to the people passionately after Donald Trump gave his speech and as the people were pouring through the borders towards the Capitol gates. Elon Musk posted this video and said if Nick Fuentes got away with no charges, he must be a federal agent. Milo, who was someone very attached to Candace Owens, who was texting Nick Fuentes before the event, who is essentially who has informed as a federal agent. They're not a federal agent, but they have informed as one. They have informed two federal agents. That is documented in text to Nick Fuentes. Was also calling Nick a federal agent in the same Twitter thread. So you have this attack by Candace Owens, by Tucker Carlson, by Elon Musk, by Milo, all at the same time within a few weeks to try and attack Nick's credibility. This all comes after 8 years of Nick being canceled and Nick finally getting back into the mainstream. In January of this year, Facebook and Instagram started allowing his clips to be posted there. TikTok is now allowing some of his clips to be posted there, even though a lot of mine get community guidelined. YouTube is allowing me to react and people to react to his content on here. So the most canceled man on the planet is now working his way back into the mainstream. His clips are going viral almost every single day. He has a grasp on 15 to 30-year-olds in America right now. Everyone is tuning into him. On Friday night, he had 45,000 live listeners. Do you know how hard that is on a Friday night to pull 45,000 live viewers? No live streamer is able to accomplish that, but he is on a political talk show because what he's saying is truthful. It's sincere. It's so different from anything we've ever heard before. It's not the classic Fox News spin or CNN. It's 10 times better than anything I'm doing right here. It is one of the greatest political talk shows. He's very funny. He is witty. He's smart, intelligent. He is able to make dark topics seem light. He's able to grab your heart. Whether you agree or disagree with him, he's able to grab the hearts of Americans and make you feel something, make you feel patriotic, make you feel like this country is going to shit, because it is. He's able to open your eyes to the problems of America and how it needs to be fixed. They're attacking him because of this. After years of him trying to break in, and he finally did, they need to now shut him up. The feds, the agents, the deep state that we've been trying to shut down needs to do what they can to attack him. And it's very sad to me because I'm someone who loved Elon. I'm someone who would praise Elon in the past. But for Elon to accuse Nick of being a federal agent is absolutely ridiculous. Elon is one of those free speech absolutists in a lot of ways, but he's showing that's not true. He limits Nick's ability to communicate on X by not giving him a check mark. He is calling Nick a Fed with zero proof when he knows the implications of something like that. It seems like they're setting Nick up for an attempt on his life right now. And Nick talks about this a lot. He said that, this was one of the hardest quotes, but he said, imagine shooting a man with your last bullet and he stands there unfazed, because that's what you did to him. They're taking every shot they can at him right now, and he's standing there unfazed. But he does talk about that he is nervous that they are going to take his life. Someone showed up to his house with a gun 6 months ago, and it could happen again. And we pray for his safety every day because he is the true America First politician, the true America First candidate. He will be the president in 2036 when he's eligible to run one day. He's still just a young kid. We need to protect him for the next 11 years and even beyond that, but at least for the next 11 years till he's able to get elected, till he's able to run for office. Candace Owens freaked out at him through all this. Candace Owens freaked out during the accusations. Candace did the hit piece on Nick Fuentes during the Iran-Israel conflict. Candace then said she wants to do a second debate meeting with Nick Fuentes. She said that she will secure Nick's dream debate with Charlie Kirk if he does the debate with her. Nick then says, yeah, this is bullshit. Have Charlie Kirk confirm it, or we're not even discussing it. Candace dances around it, Charlie Kirk never even acknowledges it publicly. We all know Charlie Kirk would never do it. Charlie has Israeli donors that he cannot go back on. Someone even, what's his name? Harrison Smith. He's on Rift TV. He's a political commentator. He even reported yesterday that inside sources close to Charlie Kirk are telling him that the reason Charlie won't speak out against Israel is he's scared that Israelis and Mossad will kill him, which I believe it does not sound foreign to Israelis or Mossad to kill an American to push their agenda forward. That's what Mossad does. So I don't know if that's true. I feel bad for Charlie Kirk that he's in that position. But Charlie Kirk, you have a chance to be on the right side of history here. Step out against Israel. Step out into the America First movement. Apologize for your slander against Nick Fuentes. But I don't think it's going to happen. Charlie Kirk had a TPUSA chapter president call into his show. He deleted this clip because it was so embarrassing for him. He was literally twitching in it. It was funny. But a chapter president called into his live show and asked him, are you going to just keep slowly adopting Nick Fuentes' America First talking points over time, or are you just going to join the movement? Are you eventually going to realize that you're just pushing towards this and you're just denouncing everything he's doing even though he's right? Or what's your plan here? Charlie Kirk immediately says, you're deceitful, you're not honest, you said you were going to ask a question about something else. He then says he's not going to platform a troll. Nick Fuentes, well, he does like to troll people, don't we all? Nick Fuentes is a genius. Nick Fuentes is a high IQ individual, one of the greatest debaters, one of the smartest geopolitical commentators in the country, smartest political commentators in the country as well. He's able to deliver this analysis live on camera to thousands of people every single day, different topics, different stories, in-depth analysis. He spins all these webs and he ties them together at the end. That's what makes him so good. Like I said, you took a shot. You shot your last bullet at the man, and he stands there unfazed. It's amazing to see the rise in fame for Nick Fuentes. I'm proud of the America First movement. I'm proud to see how far it's going and how far it can go. His trajectory is almost unforeseeable. I think Nick Fuentes has a direct path to the mainstream right now. CNN is literally airing his clips every single day. They hate Trump so much that they ignore all the other race politics stuff he says, stuff that they would normally hate, to air his clips. And race politics stuff, CNN hates it, but I love it. I think it's important to talk about race politics. It's important to talk about race. It does exist. Acting like we're all colorblind is bullshit, because that's not true. I'm not colorblind. You're not colorblind. And even people who are colorblind know an Asian versus a black versus a white. Colorblind is a bullshit thing they tried to push into the media, but we do need to acknowledge race. We do need to acknowledge the differences in race. We need to acknowledge the differences in culture. We need to acknowledge how we assimilate together and where we don't assimilate together. We need to stop immigration where we don't assimilate, stop all illegal immigration, some legal. I do want to stop on all legal immigration, but I know we're not going to get that, even though I would love it. That's what real American nationalism would be. I think it's important when you see the path Nick's on to look at how scary it could be for him. I know I just talked about how they could kill him, but you also have to think about the fact that he just released his subscription platform on his website. He's not able to do it through banks because he's been debanked. He's the most canceled man on the planet. But he's doing that because he does his live show on Rumble. Rumble is founded by J.D. Vance, Peter Thiel, a lot of these guys. And that's why he's scared. He speaks out against Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance. And that's what I'm about to do right now as well. Peter Thiel and the J.D. Vance connection is scary. Peter Thiel founded Palantir. He did it through he was funded through a CIA VC firm. So the CIA funded Palantir. And people want to say that Peter Thiel is not CIA. Peter Thiel is clearly CIA. He was funded by the CIA. Palantir was funded by the CIA. Countless CIA connections, countless Mossad connections as well, including Jeffrey Epstein, who he started Carbine 911 with, an Israeli spy firm that would spy on Americans. He also has crazy connections to Jeffrey Epstein. He has connections to Ehud Barak. He has connections to Leon Black. He has connections to Bill Gates. He has connections to Elon Musk, who just accused Nick of being a Fed. He has connections to Candace Owens. He has connections to all these people who are attacking Nick. We could see the direct attack on Nick and how it all relates. We could see that Peter Thiel is connected to Tucker Carlson. Peter Thiel is connected to Rupert Murdoch. Peter Thiel was connected to Epstein. Peter Thiel is connected to J.D. Vance and Trump. Peter Thiel is pushing this attack with J.D. Vance on Nick Fuentes to try and discredit Nick, push him out of the mainstream media. Peter Thiel is a Palantir. He's the Palantir CEO. He's a CIA puppet, a Mossad puppet. He is someone who does not have your best interest in mind, doesn't have my best interest in mind. He wants to live forever. He is essentially like the Antichrist. This guy is disgusting. This guy is immoral. This guy needs to be removed from society. The fact that we allow a billionaire who started one of the biggest spy firms who's going to collect all of Americans' data and spy on it and use it against us through AI, the fact that they're allowed to fund a vice presidential candidate, he was never in politics, and then in 2022 he's a senator, and then in 2024 he's the fucking VP. He hated Trump before and was calling him a Nazi, and then just a few years later he's his biggest supporter. It's because Peter Thiel aligned him with Donald Trump. Peter Thiel wanted to cozy up with Donald Trump to bury the Epstein files, to push Palantir's agenda through, to bury the CIA and Mossad connections, to exonerate Israel while making certain people look bad. Peter Thiel is one of the most corrupt people in this country right now. He needs to be rooted out of this country. I want Peter Thiel. I really want him to be denaturalized and deported. He should honestly be given like the death penalty for the things he's doing behind the scenes. It's actually very bad. If a normal person was caught doing what Peter Thiel is doing, they would receive the death penalty because it's beyond illegal. Peter Thiel is a disgusting CIA asset who needs to be removed. He is targeting Nick Fuentes. He is using these media figures to do it. And they're trying to distract you the entire time. You know, they're taking over D.C. They're talking about taking over other cities. You have the Baltimore mayor talking about taking away your guns. They're throwing weed reclassification out there. They're doing everything they can to distract you from what's actually happening. And what's actually happening is the Palantir deep state is setting up right now to collect all your data forever, use it with AI against you to make you a slave to the federal government. We're not going to let this happen. By hell or high water, we will take this country back. True America First policies are coming. True America First candidates are on the way. True America First is happening. This hasn't been one of my best shows. I'm wrapping it up right now. Again, like I said, I've been moving, so I am literally going to go right from this to moving again. I was moving right before this. Didn't have much time to prepare. I'm going to try and do I'm going to do my live stream with the Myron Tate, Nick Fuentes thing, and then I'm going to go back into moving. But we'll get back into more normal shows within the next couple weeks. The shows over the next week or so, like I said, might be slightly less organized than usual. I'm going to try and do what I can to get good topics, get a good show, but I don't have as much time to prepare and look at political things as I usually do because of the move. But by September 1st, I'll be back in action full-fledged, new studio and everything. Oh yeah, we're ready. I'm going to check X, see if any headlines have popped up while I've been filming. I haven't seen anything pop up, but just in case, let's check, because we are wrapping up the show. That kind of was our last topic to talk about. Really doesn't look like there's a ton trending right now. I'm sure if there's more trending, I'll talk about it during the live stream show. Again, remember to smash the like and follow button on YouTube here, but remember to check out my live stream channels. I'll be live streaming on Rumble, Kick, and Twitch, and X as well. Remember to smash the like and follow button on there. Leave a comment, join the chat. We'll be having a fun time. I'm very interactive with the chat. If you ask questions, I'm responding immediately. I am debating with people in there. I sometimes will play video games. I'll react to videos on X, on YouTube, on Rumble, debates. Yesterday we reacted to the Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes debate, which was a great one. But we're not going to do much more today. That's our show for the day. I'm James Pascalides. This has been episode 105 of America Unfiltered. I actually think I'm going to change the name of I don't know if I'm going to change the name, but I'm going to do almost a second playlist on YouTube here, because after I got red pilled, it almost feels like a completely different show. After my opinions changed in politics and I went from just shilling for the GOP and Republican Party to actually pushing real American nationalism and real American first policies, it almost feels like a different show. So I'm going to start a different playlist on here, different set of things, so that way you guys can actually see where the red pill moment happened and watch that almost in real time, which is cool to see. But I'm James Pascalides. This has been episode 105 of America Unfiltered. Remember to like and smash the follow button. Leave a comment. Thank you guys. I hope you guys have a blessed day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I definitely will do a show tomorrow for Friday. Thank you.